Joining me now is Stedman Graham with the Live Sonima Tour. Welcome, Mr. Graham. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Glad to be here. My pleasure. I just love this area and I love South Carolina.
Well, thank you. And so, we were talking at the break. I'm very excited about your presence here because the Sonima Tour really represents a change in our whole educational system, really long term. Can you just tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we've been to 138 schools, and we have a musical event with Caroline Jones. She's a professional singer. She's has 4 albums, and really a beautiful show. She has a wonderful, wonderful voice. And I'm a part of the tour, Sonima Tour. I teach identity development, and I teach people how to find out who they are. So I teach students especially how to organize information. A lot of times they memorize, take tests, repeat the information back, get labeled with a grade, 2 weeks later they forget the information.
That's right.
And so what we try to do is make sure that they understand how to take the education that they get and make it relevant to their talents, to their skills, to their passions, to their identity. They have to have an identity as a foundation for growth and development.
Absolutely. Well, and this is a subject that's obviously very personal to you because you are physically traveling to all of these schools as part of this tour. So why are you so passionate about this particular subject? Because
this is my life. I grew up, with a race-based consciousness. I thought it was about the color of my skin. I grew up with family circumstances I had to deal with, low self-esteem, lack of confidence in myself. I grew up being defined by the outside world. Even today I'm defined a lot of times by my relationship. And so the message is not how other people define you or how the world defines you, it's how you define yourself. So oftentimes we don't have the tools to be able to do that. So I created a process through my books. I've written a number of books around this subject of identity development and identity education to teach people how to organize their life around themselves so they can empower themselves, so they can work on themselves, take charge of their own development,
be empowered,
and define themselves, and be empowered, absolutely.
Well, and one of my favorite things from your book is that you actually ask questions because people can say, you need to know your identity or know who you are. Well, a lot of times if you already don't know, it's kind of hard to figure out. So I thought what was really helpful in your book was the questions that you provide that kind of cue you to how to get there. I'm this kind of person, I like this, I do this. So I found that really, really helpful. But what's the significance of getting this message to children?
The significance is if you can get it to a young child or a young person at 13 or 14 years of age or a middle school, they have 70, 80, 90 years to work on themselves, to develop a process for continuous improvement where they take the 24 hours that they have, which is what makes us all equal. Everybody has 24 hours.
That's
the question is, how do you organize the 24 hours? So if we can teach them to focus on themselves, develop a vision for themselves, develop goals for themselves, teach them how to learn properly, teach them how to focus on their natural abilities, again, their passions, what they love, then the education and knowledge and information and the smartphone, all of that internet information becomes valuable to them.
Absolutely.
They can apply that information to their development so they can empower themselves and become better today than they were yesterday.
Well, and they know it's a formula. They know how to be happy and fulfilled on their own. So, Mr. Graham, what an honor to have you with us today. Thank you so much. And the details on the screen, please visit sonima.com for more information.
Thank you so much for having me.